up, y'all? It is your boy Wes. I'm coming through with a nice little haircutting tutorial. Right now, we're doing a taper fade today. So right now, first things first, we gotta comb our client's hair, get the hair off the scalp. So when we come through with the clippers, it'll be a nice smooth cut. Giving him a wavelength taper fade. So I'm coming through with my 1.5 guard right now, debulking. As you can see, my guy's spinning. So yeah, I'm coming back with my T outliners, and I'm gonna set a nice guideline in at the bottom. I like to fade from the bottom to the top. Just for me personally, it just helps me control the fade more and let it come out as smooth as possible. That I like to do that works for me personally is I come back with my T outliners and I flick at the bottom of the fade. I don't like to put in too harsh of a guideline right here, but when I do this, I'm just kind of cleaning up the bottom of the fade so that when I do start actually fading it, the guideline is uniform and everything can be faded nice and in a straight line. So now I'm coming with my wall seniors and I'm going up about a ½ inch with the guide with the lever open. So with this, when the lever's open, I'm not cutting off as much hair as the lever would be when it's closed. So when I do this, or when you do this and you're cutting hair, you should see two different layers of hair, like two different levels, like the bald skin and then the hair with the one guard open. So now to get that line out from the bottom, what you're gonna do is you're gonna come back with your clippers with the lever closed and just kind of flick at the bottom. You don't want to go too harsh, you don't want to go too hard, because if you do, then you'll have trouble getting that line out again. So don't be afraid to use the corner of your clippers. To be honest, that's really the best way to do it. That's the best way to get out all the dark spots and stuff like that. So I just kind of go over it many times with the lever closed, and then also between that area you're gonna notice that just going over with the lever closed isn't gonna take everything out, so you're gonna have to kind of like play with the levers and the guards a little bit just to get that fade out. So I was going back and forth between opening and closing, opening, putting it in the middle and all that. After that, you're gonna get your number one guard and go up about ½ an inch again. Now you'll really see like two distinct layers of hair. Don't worry, you're gonna get that other line out. It's all a part of the process. But yeah, I like to go up about a ½ inch with my number one guard. I like to go over my hair, or go over my client's hair a lot, just because I want to make sure that I get everything out. So now we're coming at that bottom line that we just made. We're going to come at it with the ½ guard, and you're just going to keep going over, not really trying to put in a new line, but you're more so just trying to flick this one out. You may also have to play with the lever on the side too, just to fade it up to that number one. Now I have my 1.5 guard with the lever open. I'm flicking out the top of the line. I could use a 2 guard here, but I just know for my client to get the fade looking is like the way that he wants it and stuff like that, we kind of just agreed on the 1.5 open. It takes off just a little bit more hair than 2 guard, so that's just the way that he likes his fade. So it was just no big issue. But now I'm coming with a 1 guard closed, and I'm going with the grain. What I'm doing right now is I'm not really kind of digging in the hair, trying to cut a lot of hair off. I'm just trying to cut off the straggling hairs that are standing up, just so that the fade can be a lot smoother and the hair can lay down at the top. Right here, I'm literally doing the same thing, but just with the 1.5 guard. This one also is closed. I'm just trying to make sure I lay the hair down as best as I can. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using using my number 1 guard with the lever open, which is kind of like 1.5, and I'm just kind of flicking that line that came at the very top. We didn't really get it out when we used the 1.5 guard. Not sure if you noticed, but I just kind of flick it out with the 1 guard open. And then what I did for the right side of the head is the same as I did for the left, so I'll just let you sit back and watch. Taper, you're really following the same exact steps you did for the side, so it's nothing real different. T-outliner, coming through, setting a harsh guideline in the bottom, kind of curve mine a little bit just because that's how I kind of like the fade to look. Using my T-outliners, I just clean up the neck taper, or clean up the neck area with it too. I do need to get a shaver, but if you have a shaver or you're good with like the straight razor or anything, you can use that. But I just like using my T-outliner. It does the exact same thing in my opinion. But yeah, using the T-outliner, I'm coming and going up about maybe like 1/4 of an inch from where I set that harsh guideline in just now. Taking it up just a little bit, just like what I did with the side. It's all about trying to get the fade as smooth as possible and not setting in too harsh guidelines, because the harsher the guideline, the harder it is to take it out. So I just try to make my job a whole lot easier. Now with my wall seniors with the lever closed, I'm coming up and going about 1/4 inch again. Actually, this may actually be like a 1/2 inch, but I'm taking the guideline up just a little bit. As you can see, the bottom already is starting to look a little faded, so that's just what we're going for. So I'm just gonna keep going over it and try to get that line as clean as possible. Now with the lever open, I'm gonna go up about 1/2 inch again. Now we're setting in the new guideline. As you can see, it's really just like the whole premise of this is just setting in a line, taking out the line, setting in a line, and taking out the line. So once you kind of get that rhythm in and you kind of understand how it works, it gets a whole lot easier. But yeah, with the lever open, I'm just going up about 1 inch, and I'm trying to take out as much dark spots as I can right now. So that's why I'm kind of exploring my angles. As you see, not everyone's hair grows in the same way, so you're not always going to be able to take everyone's hair out just going straight up. Sometimes you have to turn your clippers and use the side. now with the one guard closed, I'm going to be going up about a ½ inch again, setting in a new guideline. Like I said, you know, just line in, line out, but going up about a ½ inch, setting in a new guideline. And yeah, I'm just going to try and make the line as straight as I can from one ear to the other. Your client's head as much as possible while you're cutting. It's just going to help with the whole process of making the fade look as clean as possible. But now I'm coming with the 1.5 guard, and I'm going up about a ¼ inch again, or about maybe a ½ inch, and I'm just taking out that line that's at the very top of the line that I just put in now. But yeah, what I'm using right now is it's like a nail brush or something. I got it from not the dollar store. I got it from the beauty supply store for about $1 or something like that. But it's just so much easier to use, and it's just quick and right there, and I can just have it hooked onto my fingers. But yeah, it's important to make sure you have a brush or a comb or something, because it's hard to fade the hair if you're not gonna comb it back into place. So now with the 1.5 guard open, we'll be flicking out the top of the top of the hair again. Again, literally everything, like I said, it's line in, line out. So we're just trying to ease the transition between the hair and the hair that's not faded and the hair that is faded. Now with the ½ guard, I'm going at the guideline that's right there in between the one guard and the lever open, and I'm just flicking it out, trying to get it as smooth as possible. I feel like what I'm saying is kind of redundant to a certain extent, but really that's just what it is. You're setting in a line, you're taking it out, and in between the lines, you're just playing with the leverage, just trying to get it as smooth as you can. So the great Hannah Montana once said that everybody makes mistakes, everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody has those days. But what I'm saying is, just because I do the fade a certain way the first time around doesn't mean that that's how the fade is going to be once I'm done. So I end up having to go over it maybe like a couple more times before I am actually done, and I can move on to like the lineup or something like that. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm just going over it with the one guard and the ½ guard, just trying to make the fade blend and just look good and as uniform as possible. Now we're starting to do the lineup, and what I like to do is I like to look at the back of my client's head and just look to a point. and see if I can recreate that to where the back of their head is symmetrical and lined up. I like to keep everything as natural as I can when it comes to line up and hairlines and all that anyways, so I don't really take too much. I just take off as much as I need to, just whatever hair is kind of overlapping. That's just kind of how I judge. And so now with the lineup in the front, we're going to comb it out just so we can get the hair up and off the scalp and get them a nice clean and crisp lineup. I'm coming at it with some Pump It Up, which is hairspray, and that just kind of helps me keep the hair in place, so when I am lining up I don't really have to worry about the hair moving in and out of place too much. But yeah, my advice for the lineup would be to just keep your hands as steady as possible and to start from the middle. As I start from the middle and I go out, it lets me see where the hair is overlapping and where like his hairline starts to come to a point. The coming from the middle just lets me see that. Some people can come from the side, that's them. That's just not for me. But I just try and keep everything as symmetrical as possible. You got to be careful because some people may think that you are pushing the line back when in fact you're just taking off the hair that's overlapping. But I would just say to just always do your best to keep the lineup as symmetrical and as straight as possible. I don't usually use enhancements too much. To be honest, I'm not really sure what this one is. I'd probably have to check my box, and I'm not with it right now. But I just wanted to use the enhancement for the video. But yeah, the enhancement's good. It helps darken the hairline a little more. It just makes the lineup just pop out just that much more. My thing with the enhancements though is I just try and make sure I keep my distance, and I just move my hands so I'm not just spraying in one spot. But now I'm literally just gonna go over the edge up the exact same way as I did before, but with the enhancement now, it's just gonna make the lineup just look that much crispier, and everything's just gonna pop out. So I think the smile on his face says it all. You know, the cut came out well, he liked it. But I learned how to cut hair through YouTube, so I was like, I might as well start putting my own haircuts on YouTube. So I hope this helps, and I will catch y'all later.